unions, and weddings. Yet the month carries a far deeper meaning. It is not only about beautiful ceremonies and romantic promises that are spoken, it also carries the remembrance of freedom. And it's celebrating Juneteenth. Some of you might know it, some of you might not. I always say Google, look it up, check it out. And honoring fathers and the awakening of awareness. Juneteenth reminds us of humanity. Well, greetings, my League of Eagles. Is it hello, welcome, howdy, oh, happy day, whatever the greeting is? It's always good to gather with you in purpose and presence every Thursday in love, light, and legacy. I am Joy Ruffen, your minister of enlightenment, awareness, and awakenings, and your signature style and leadership specialist. It's June, and we open with our theme, which is Your Light Reimagined. It's always an invitation to return to clarity, embodied presence, and leadership expressed through your truth. And today we're diving into, oh my goodness, well, it's a month of celebration. So that's what we're going to be talking about. It's about your power of awareness as authority. So let us begin to play, because we're going to play with royalty and presence, which is yours. And what does that mean, your royalty and your presence? Well, it's in everything that we do. Because as I stated, June is more than a month of celebrations. And what are we celebrating? Well, let's speak to that. But before we get going, let me share with you what I often do, and I don't want you to do this, because we want your comments. We want you to subscribe and to connect and share the video with those who you think would be impacted in a good way from it. So what are we talking about, June? Your Light Reimagined? Well, June is the month of awareness and sacred meanings. It has long represented love, as does other months, unions, and weddings. Yet the month carries a far deeper meaning. It is not only about beautiful ceremonies and romantic promises that are spoken, it also carries the remembrance of freedom. And it's celebrating Juneteenth. Some of you might know it, some of you might not. I always say Google, look it up, check it out. And honoring fathers and the awakening of awareness. Juneteenth reminds us of humanity, that liberation matters deeply. Father's Day reminds us that society and the masculine leadership really matters. The question is, how are we doing it today in today's new era? And marriage reminds us that partnerships should reflect equality, respect, and harmony. Yet many relationships still carry outdated structures, disguised as love and tradition. And too often, women are still expected to surrender their identity for acceptance. Too often, society celebrates appearance before substance. And that's what my signature style, my leadership and signature style work is more about: the substance and the essence and the core of us. Beauty before brilliance, along with brilliance, and attractiveness before awareness. No, it all is combined together, because awareness changes everything. Because once a woman becomes aware of her value, her presence begins shifting. Every environment that she surrounds herself in, awareness becomes light, and light reveals her truth. The divine partnership, equality, it's not a war, it's an evolution. Masculine and feminine in harmony. The divine masculine and the divine feminine were never created to compete against each other. They were designed to complement each other through wisdom, power, truth, and mutual respect. Yet modern society often is the key word, creates imbalance and confusion. Many relationships operate through domination instead of genuine partnerships. Their imbalance quietly damages the spirit of both the divine masculine and the divine feminine, because power without compassion creates a very cold leadership, and femininity without confidence creates a silent suffering. And we're over that. True partnership requires two whole individuals standing beside each other without fear or control. A powerful woman does not weaken a man and vice versa. Not fearful, powerful women, a powerful man. The true joining together of masculine and feminine creates balance, harmony, and clarity, and elevation, which becomes an evolution for us today. Not ownership, not superiority, not manipulation disguised as a protection of love. Real love does not erase identity or individuality. It strengthens both people while honoring their essence. This is awareness, and awareness becomes light, the end of performances. Women are more beyond that now, beyond the celebration of simply our bodies. For generations, and still today, women have been praised primarily for their physical appearance. And that's why my leadership and signature style consulting work that I do is far removed from what we've been conditioned and programmed to believe. It's about celebrating our innate natural beauty, admired for our attraction and rewarded for our desirabilities, which are innate and connected to heart and soul. Yet many women quietly ache for something deeper because it's so pervasive what's happening to us. The respect, the recognition, the intellectual admiration, spiritual appreciation, true equality. This time has arrived here and now for us to stop being reduced solely by our physical presentation. It will always be there, and so it should. But how are we going to maximize on it in this day and time? Because we are not simply a visual experience. We are more of an insight and a leadership and a wisdom that is imbued with emotional intelligence. It's a very strong creative force that carries grace within the power. And when we began to present ourselves with this intention, clarity and self-respect, the world responds to us differently. Remember, it's not a revolution, it's evolution. And that evolution begins with us, the awareness and the knowing. You hear me say all the time, I'm in the process myself, know thyself. Because then when you began, fashion becomes communication, language becomes refinement, presence becomes influence. And a woman who truly understands her worth does not beg to be seen. She's not preening and praning in all the ways in front of the screen. Her awareness radiates naturally because light never asks for permission to shine. Fathers, daughters, and power, the first reflection. What masculine leadership teaches, a father carries influence far beyond childhood memories. The way a daughter is spoken to, protected, encouraged, and respected shapes how she later views herself in life. A healthy masculine presence can teach confidence, security, emotional stability, and self-worth. It can teach a woman that love should never require humiliation or silence, that equality is natural, that respect is necessary, that leadership can exist without cruelty or control. That is why Father's Day matters deeply, as does Mother's Day. We're in June, so I'm talking Father's Day, but it applies to mothers as well. Because healthy masculinity still matters tremendously even today within families and societies. I said even today, but it's always been so. But it's so pervasive how the programming and conditioning has not given the right tools for whole individuality growth. The world does not need weakened men. The world needs more conscious men, men willing to lead through wisdom, integrity, protection, and emotional maturity, as women do. And women deserve to experience relationships where they are honored for both their beauty and their brilliance. The heart and soul connection. You hear me say that all the time. That awareness creates healing, and healing creates light. And that light can change you, your surroundings, and your environment, one and the same, for future generations to come. And the old and the new, the young and the old, and all those other ways that you can say that, it matters that there's a unity, a balance, and a harmony between them. This is how awareness can become light and the rise of a consciousness living power, truth, and wholeness. Awareness is not simply gaining information or knowledge. We might have gone a wee bit astray with that awareness, because awareness, true awareness, is awakening to a deeper truth. It is recognizing where imbalance exists within relationships, cultures, language, leadership, and destinies, and then your identity. It is realizing that freedom without awareness still leaves people imprisoned inside unhealthy patterns. Awareness asks for humility, humanity, and honoring ourselves so that we can evolve within our own wisdom, to stop glorifying divisions, and to stop celebrating confusion. Celebrate ourselves and stop reducing people by judging their appearance alone. Yet finally know that discernment is important, and your presence, your image, and all of that matters. But to what extent and how are you presenting your power and your awareness so that you can finally embrace that sacred balance within, between power and compassion, between masculinity and femininity, between individuality and unity? The world is changing, and women are becoming aware. Men are becoming aware, and consciousness itself is beginning to rise. This is not about superiority. It is about wholeness, individuality. It is about truth. It is about harmony. Because when awareness awakens, light enters the room. And once light appears, darkness can no longer remain comfortable and hidden. You hear me say all the time, balance, harmony, unity. Well, what does that really mean to you? What is balance, harmony, and unity to you? Well, it should mean that you are able to see and to know the difference for you. That is all that's important. You knowing how your light is to be taken out into the stratosphere. Your individuality, your wholeness, the completeness, one and the same. I often say that because it's true, because we all take things in differently. I have to say to you each and every time, because I choose to, I'm honored by your presence, sharing space and time with me today. And more importantly, your commitment and mine to growth. Remember this: empowerment and liberation combined leads to our release. When we let go of the old conditioning, we create space for leadership to rise from our truth. We have been so programmed and conditioned and sexualized, and it's so pervasive. The time for an awakening is now, and most of us are ready. Join me next week for another intentional conversation, and be sure, I'm going to repeat myself, to like, comment, share, subscribe to Joy Ruffen, Fashioning Femininity, Style, and Truth, so that we can stay connected. And for those of you who want to go deeper, there are offerings there for you at my website, joyruffen.com, because something beautiful and whole and complete, once you become aboard, is always waiting for you there. And remember our theme, your light reimagined, because we're on the road to a whole new awakening for the divine within both the masculine and the feminine united. My League of Eagles, be and stay well. Continue to look after you, heart and soul connected, because I'm sending you always from my heart to yours much, much love. always, and ending with, because I love the word cheers. Until the next time, all the best. Much love.